So we're gonna get it. All right. Islam, 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 Islam family. I trust all is well. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Welcome to the Uniting of Asia Sisters Auxiliary Podcast, where we come and we build with one another to help strengthen our minds, to help uplift one another in the most positive way, create unity amongst us, not division, Islam. So this is why we come on here to build with each other, eat from each other, sharpen each other's knowledge, Islam. So can we stand as we recite our Moorish American prayer? We're going to turn to the east, it's going within. We put up 5 fingers on the left with 2 on the right, with our heels touching one another, standing on our square. Repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Islam, Islam. I would like to first rise and give the highest praises to our Father God Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Also rise and giving honors to Allah, the Mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. I want to rise and give holy honors to our divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I want to rise and give honors to all the divine prophets for all the wonderful works they brought unto us. Islam, Islam. I give honors to each and every one of you here on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Islam. So now we are going to do some house cleaning. We're going to place your hand over your heart while I do the recitation for our laws, Constitution and bylaws. Salvation, Allah, unity. The Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery, But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father God, Allah. Islam, Noble Drew Ali, founder. The Moorish American prayer, Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. The Moorish Science Temple of America, home office of Noble Drew Ali, Chicago, Illinois, USA. Islam. Now for the recitation for our additional laws for Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh is the governing head of our temple. All business of said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before being acted upon by any member. Let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under a heavy restriction, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their added meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second case will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is the lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while up making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire. And let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father God, Allah. Islam? Islam. Islam, Sister Shonda. My apologies. Islam, everybody. I hope everyone's having a happy holy day. Uh-oh. How you doing?
Islam.
I don't know how this is laid out. Let's see if we can go to this layout. Hold on. There we go. How are you today? Happy holy day. Happy holy day.
Holy day.
It is such an amazing day, and it's 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. That's
This
the time my daughter was
Moorish energy been on me all day today. Just everywhere I'm looking, I'm like, oh yes, okay. Come through 7-Eleven, come through all this greatness. We're gonna get into our demonstration, our subject.
Bring all the energy.
Yes, and I have read for TikTok because they had never heard. A lot of them don't know a lot about Moorish science on TikTok. A lot of my followers on TikTok. So I read them chapter 46 before I came on. I don't know. Have you ever read chapter 46, Sister Shonda? She coming back. She coming back.
I'm here. I'm sorry. My headphones.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I was asking, are you familiar with chapter 46? That's what I started them with over on TikTok. Chapter 46, just to give them a little background of what we're talking about.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Everyone that's joining. I'm hoping this other sisters can get in because I guess I don't know what StreamYard got going on right now. But it just gives a breakdown of the beginning of Christianity, where it began in Rome, and why they crucified Jesus of Nazareth for seeking to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke and law. So I was just kind of reading them through 46 to give them a synopsis on like why we come on this screen and what this is really, why we break into these lessons like this. So I'll just give it that a little bit. But we're going to get into our presentation tonight, which I'm so excited about. Sister Shonda, the garden. The garden. Is you ready for this demonstration? Did you freeze up on me? I think you might have froze up. Let me see if you'll unfreeze. It might be I don't know what's going on.
Okay. My internet's over here buffering. I'm like, my internet works.
It's all right.
Fine
until you want to come on and do something. Of course, and it wants to like
cut up.
Facts.
Lilith.
The garden. So we're coming for. I guess how do you want to? I don't know what that noise is. I can't hear. Okay, maybe it's nothing. I want to play this video real quick before we get started.
Moving? I'm sorry.
Nah, that's okay. I'm gonna play this video real quick. I'm hoping you can hear it. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I hope you can hear it. Is it gonna let me play it? It ain't gonna let me. Oh, it's buffering too. Okay. Let's see if it's gonna let me play it. It's a good way to break into this. Submission comes with conditions. When y'all go into this garden. If you know what, that's all right. We ain't even gonna play it from here. I got you, because I'm not gonna fool with this internet connection right now. Let's just go from here. Would you like to start off by saying anything before I'm just putting a pause on thought? Can I hear? Oh, hold on. Your thing is muted. Your mic. Hold on. Let me unmute your mic.
Oh, you
Okay.
know what?
I just muted it back. All right. Did I unmute it? Okay. There we go.
So sure.
I'm gonna play this.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Okay.
We as black men are looking for submission, failing to realize that it has to be earned, and also failing to realize that submission comes with conditions and responsibilities. A woman doesn't just submit to a man. She has to do so on the basis that you're going to be able to uphold your end of this bargain. I'm hearing men, because they message me, they text me, Doc, we hear you. But how are we ever going to be able to be men if she doesn't allow us to lead? And my answer to that, good brother, if you are leading the way you're supposed to, you won't have to ask her to submit. She will do it automatically because it is her nature to submit to her, to submit to you. The problem with black men is a lot of us are not strong enough emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. We're not strong enough to attract a woman's submission. Submission is a quality that all women have, but only certain men can unlock it.
All right, the garden, here we come. What took place in this garden? What took place in this garden?
Sis, he just said a whole word.
Right.
And I want to
After he
add to
told me
that
those
too, something I seen a sister say once. The sister I seen on Instagram, I think her name is Anja or something like that. But she said the word submission means that I'm subjected to your mission. And so you got to have a mission first, brother, for me to subject myself to. And that's the first thing too. So just to build on what Dr. Umar said, like it comes, you have to earn submission. And in that earning it, you have to have a mission. You can't just expect a woman to come up under a directionless brother. Like, where are we going? What am I submitting to?
Right.
So I just loved when she said
About that, right? Okay, so the garden. I
Okay.
want to know what really could have
So
took place in this garden. What'd you say now? Go ahead. My apologies. You said something. I think
no,
I'm
sis, go
buffering.
ahead.
I think it's lagging
Go
or
ahead.
something. Okay. So we're talking about the garden and what took place. That's why that video, I wanted to start with that one, because this submission thing, that even in our laws in Acts 7, where it tells us, wife, obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Right? What happened in the garden that could have took us away from doing these things, or stopping our men or brothers? I'm not even going to say just our men. We'll just say men in general. Stop them from obeying the ordinance of Allah, or stop, or where did something go wrong there? Because Lilith was a strong energy for Adam, his first wife. Lilith.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. Well, I ain't gonna say now. A lot of people have heard of Lilith, but we don't talk about her, and I wonder why.
Do you think it's
Now God is buffering again. She's
buffering?
demonized, and we don't even know why she's demonized. We just accept the fact that she's demonized and just go with that narrative. But the legend tells it that she wouldn't submit to Adam's sexual desires, which is a weird thing for me because I don't even see the idea of sex mentioned in the text yet. So where do we get this sexual relationship that he was looking for? When I was doing some reading earlier, it said they call Lilith the mother of demons. Now, I find that interesting too, that she's giving childbirth, but yet she didn't have sex. So how is she the mother of the demons? So it's just brainwashing.
And this is where I want to come out of the creation and follow man. Isha, I'm about to break down Lilith and 1 second. I'm gonna share the screen, and I'm gonna pull up what I came up about Lilith. I'll say this: Lilith is the darkest part of the moon. That's why they call her Black Moon Lilith. When you're looking at your astrology, they'll call her Black Moon Lilith.
Mm-hmm.
She knew the rules, the unseen, because she's the unseen. This is the unseen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna share my
Mm-hmm.
screen really quick to pull up what I found on her, if it's still there. Oh, goodness. And I'm not on the right screen, y'all. Dang, I'm gonna have to go to the other screen. Okay. New moon energy, yes, but dang, I had a whole situation on this lady. Hold on. But I had to open this other screen, y'all. I might have to go out and come back in. If you don't mind, I might have to go back and come back in. Hold on. No, I don't. No, I don't. Hold on. I don't have to do that. What did he say? Okay, here we go. Let me see if I can share this screen with you. I don't think it shared it. I think it just popped up right there. Hold on. Hold on. Let me find you again.
Yeah, I can see it on this thing.
You can't? Okay.
Let's go back to Genesis 2. While you're pulling that up, I'm going to go to Genesis 2. Let me see. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, when we're dealing with the scriptures, when God first created man, it says, and he created man and woman in the likeness of him. So there was a creation that happened before we get to the Eve narrative. So when we dealing with that of the first creation in the beginning, I'm looking for it right now in the scriptures. Like I had some stuff pulled up and it's done closed up. Closed up on me.
That's what mine did.
And God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let him have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female created he them. So in this text right here, we have an equal creation that happens at the same time, both male and female. And God blessed them and said unto them, "Be fruitful and multiply." He said unto them, "Be fruitful and multiply." Notice the them. So we have we have a couple here. We have two that were given dominion over the earth. But something shifted because all of a sudden this union disappears, and now we got Adam sitting in the garden lonely, naming and playing with animals. So finding companionship in animals. And then that's where we get to, did you get your information up about Lilith?
Yes, I did, but I need to see if you can hear me because I'm gonna have to come from over here. Can you hear me still?
Yes.
Okay, you can still hear me. All right, so because Isha asked the question who Lilith was.
Yes.
Right, so I have pulled up some stuff on Lilith, doing some research on her. Of course, through AI, just asking questions to see what it was going to give me. So Lilith is a fascinating figure with a rich and complex history. According to various sources, she is often considered to be Adam's first wife before Eve. Here are some key points about Lilith. Creation. Lilith was created from the same earth as Adam, making her his equal. Unlike Eve, who was made from Adam's rib, Lilith saw herself as Adam's equal and refused to submit to him. 2, the departure. Because of her refusal to be subservient, Lilith left the Garden of Eden and fled to the Red Sea, where she is said to have consorted with demons. The mythology, and you got to hear what they're saying, where she is said to have, not necessarily those are facts either. Mythology. In Jewish mythology, Lilith is often depicted as a dangerous seductress or a demon who preys on infants. They depict her as that. Not to say that's what she is. You got to go deeper than what they're depicting her as. Over time, her story has evolved and she has become a symbol of female autonomy and empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
The cultural impact. Lilith's story has inspired various cultural references and feminist interpretations, transforming her from a demon to a figure of strength and independence. So it asked me if I wanted to know more. I did want to know more. I was like, well, why would Lilith prey on infants? In some versions of the myth, Lilith is depicted as preying on infants as a form of revenge against humanity and as a way to assert her power. This portrayal often comes from ancient texts and folklore where she is seen as a demon or a malevolent spirit. It's important to note that these stories are symbolic and reflect the cultural and societal fears of the times rather than being literal truths.
Absolutely.
Ha! Ha! You want me to stop right there?
Absolutely.
You want to speak on that before I continue?
I just wanted to point out with all the demonizing they did of her, the first creation was considered good by God. Genesis 1 closes out to say, after he had done all his works, God saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. So where is this demon at then? If he done looked at everything he made up until that point and it was good, then Lilith couldn't have been a demon. That ideology of her was not demonic in its essence in this original text when it's talking about Adam and the original woman he was created with. So, yeah, that's it. Go ahead, sis.
Okay. Over time, interpretations of Lilith have evolved, and many modern perspectives view her as a symbol of female independence and strength rather than a figure of fear. The idea of her preying on infants is more of a reflection of an ancient anxieties and the demonization of powerful women. What do you think about these different interpretations of Lilith? Right? So when I read that, it took me to Maleficent, the movie. Maleficent, the movie with my girl, Angelina Jolie. So I'm going to come back real quick before I continue to read. With Sister Angelina Jolie, Maleficent. In the movie, it says she was the protector of the Moors. Lilith, the protector of the Moors. She told him, she said, you can't have the Moors. You'll never have the Moors. You can't get them today. What did she say? I will quote as she quotes. To the enemy, you can't have the Moors now or never. Please know that still stands. If you are not practicing unity, not talking it, or applying it, I'm right there with her. And that's what I said. That's what I said. Lilith didn't say that. Well, Maleficent didn't say that when she was still Lilith. But she protected them more. The nature fought with her. Nature was her backbone. They took her wings from her. So when you demonized her, you took something from her that pissed her off. And now Rage,
and that's what birthed that wrath.
Everything she's taking nature and she's covering it up. She's like, yeah, you won't get over here. You ain't coming over here. Man bowed down to man. Man gives oath to man. Gave an oath to man. Lilith wasn't trying to hear none of that. Like, bruh, really? Adam, why you playing, bruh? You know you ain't supposed to be over there by that tree. Why you over there? Why you being nosy? You know we ain't supposed to be over. This is a conversation. I'm feeling. Because brothers don't listen now. Why would they listen then? Islam? I ain't gonna try to get too high. Let me calm down.
Islam. But you know, hey, you gotta almost go there because then once we get along to Eve, you know, we still dealing with that same issue. We still dealing with that same issue. So go ahead on.
Okay. So we are still dealing with that issue. We talked about this earlier. So let me see if I want to go any further on her real quick. Let me see if I want to go any further on Lilith. Oh, I also wanted to say she's ancient Mesopotamian mythology. They say they link, some scholars link her to older Mesopotamian demons like Lamastu or Lilith, whoever those two are, right? In modern interpretations, Lilith is often seen as a symbol of female independence. Yes, strength and resistance. So it seems as if she was resisting because it's also, wait a minute. What did Adam ask her to do and she refused? And in the myth, like you said, Adam and Lilith's conflict stemmed from a fundamental disagreement about their roles and equality. So we be arguing about this now. Adam wanted Lilith to lie beneath him during intercourse, which symbolized her submission to him. Lilith, who saw herself as Adam's equal because they were both created from earth, refused to be subordinate and insisted on her own independence. The refusal led to significant conflict between them. Lilith's defense is a central theme in her story, representing her desire for equality and autonomy. Because of this disagreement, she left the Garden of Eden to seek her own path, which eventually led her being demonized in later folklore. So I said, how was she demonized?
And then mostly erased.
You can't find her. You can't find her. So I asked, how was she demonized? Because she refused not to disobey God. Lilith's demonization is largely a result of her defiance of both Adam and the patriarchal norms of the time. Had nothing to do with Allah. Her refusal to be subservient to Adam and her decision to leave the Garden of Eden were seen as rebellious acts. Here's a deeper look into how she was demonized. So it just gives a deeper look into the conflict with Adam, the departure, and all of that. Her association with the demons, the fear of the unknown, because that's what you were saying earlier about this unknown energy this dark energy.
Absolutely. Yep. And then I find it, because when I'm looking at the Lilith and Adam story, at this point, Adam's looking the dark energy in the face, the negative, positive, the yin yang. We also got to put a disclaimer on dark. Dark isn't negative. It's just the void. It's just the creative energy before it's moved into action. So at that point, I'm going to say that nothing was hidden. Everything was known. Everything that needed to be known was known until Lilith was expelled out the garden. Now that hid the feminine principle from the masculine. So now you just have the masculine principle and the feminine principle is unseen. So that's what makes it dark, not that it's inherently evil, which is what they've also tried to do to the feminine energy. It's painted as something that is inherently evil. And even the laws of quantum physics tells us that is a lie, because the feminine energy actually is more of nothingness until the masculine energy encounters it and gives it an action potential. So to call it dark is just us believing the historical narrative that's been painted, which, like you said, it goes to patriarchy. And to understand that Adam, Lilith, and Eve, they're not literal people. They represent a type of people that was living at that time. So that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a woman who didn't want to follow the ways of man. She wanted to follow the ways of Allah or God, whatever you're comfortable with for the other listeners. And then, out of that rebellion, she went on and she went to the spiritual world, obviously, because now we're dealing with fleshly things in the Garden of Eden. So Lilith's off in spirit, and I would say that's closer to God than here on this earthly plane. So, yeah.
She held her station. She held her station when I lied. She's like, I got time to be playing with you. You in that tree and that shiny apple you keep looking at. I don't want it. He said no. He mean no. Well, we gonna say mama, daddy mean no. We need to listen. So this higher self and lower self energy, because Lilith to me represents that higher essence of spirit life, that mother of virtues and that harmonies of life. And we talked about the word animus, and anima.
Yep. Yeah.
Animus is the crown, the first eye, right? The anima is the lower nature. I call it the Eve nature, the animalistic.
And then you got the anima.
The anima.
Yes.
Macro and micro.
And isn't it interesting, before we even move into Eve?
Okay.
How can they paint Lilith as the negative aspect of their interaction and then you move to Eve, who is according to tradition, is the one who's actually responsible for the fall of man. But we demonize Lilith. We don't demonize Eve to the same capacity that we demonize Lilith for staying in her station.
For not abandoning her post.
And Adam, why weren't you at your station?
Oh, come on, Adam.
Not abandoning her post. Absolutely. Yeah, Adam, what was you doing? Because you've had one wife leave you, and now you have another one, and you got these laws that the Creator has given you on how to conduct yourself in this garden. Against submission, you have to give a woman something to submit to. So we know he.
You so
how does Eve end up submitting?
Yeah, how does Eve end up submitting? So,
goodness gracious. You see me now?
Adam. We can look at atoms from so many different aspects to the ATO.
Can you see me and hear me?
Yes. Wait, you froze. Hold on. There you go. Yes, you're out. Okay. Come on, glitch. Come on, jumping timeline around this bad. Come on, jumping timeline.
Okay, I don't know. It's like this energy trying to stop this.
Yeah, but it ain't happening. It ain't happening.
Go
ahead. We was wondering why Adam, how he left his post.
No, you go ahead. Since I was about to move on to Genesis 3. Did you have more to say about Lilith?
No. I'm ready. Genesis chapter 3.
Now I'm
Okay.
And this is the biblical account of the fall of man. Now it says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, this is the serpent. No animals done talk to this woman before this. Adam was the one talking to animals and naming animals. So, and finding companionship in animals. So, and the snake, the serpent said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Notice the conversation, a provocative. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For God do know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And then the woman saw the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So, Adam, protector, guardian, man. What were you doing while Eve was talking to this serpent? See, in church, they try to make this like these are two people, but let's take it away from people and make it what it is. Because before God took Eve out of Adam's rib, he put Adam into a deep sleep because Adam said, there's nobody here like me. And Adam put him into God put him into a deep sleep. Now, when we're dealing with the Circle 7 Holy Quran, it consistently tells us to research yourself. So I don't think God just said it then. That's what he wanted us to do back then. So Adam going to sleep we think he's just sleep like we go to bed. No, it's an introspection. Go inside of yourself, Adam. And then you will find your helpmate. But here we go with Adam, and we gotta. It's so many layers to this text. So I'm about to go to some esoteric meaning for you. Adam symbolically in this sleep, searching himself. And then you realize that there are two natures inside of you, the animus and the anima. So now you have this internal conversation happening. And we know that this happened because it's all through the scriptures. You even see the symbolism of this. Now we call in the Christian church, we link Adam and Jesus together. Adam's the first man, and Jesus represented the first perfected man. So when Jesus goes up into the wilderness and he's having this dialogue with his conscience and his self to master that consciousness, that was the assignment of Adam when he went into that sleep. You were supposed to reconcile your higher and lower selves. And we can't take Lilith out of this because Adam had his mirror. He had his strength opposite looking at him, but he didn't want that. You didn't want that because she was your equal and you were looking for something to be subordinate, that ego rising up in you. So you go to sleep and you have this conversation within yourself and you realize that there is a higher and lower self. Now, what a man does at this point, a human, a woman, a man, what you do at this point is Adam extends his lower self. He took what was hidden and separated it from himself and then pushed it out. So now you have the duality of man. Now you have the duality of man. So what we are calling Eve is not even a woman. It's the lower nature of Adam that he's dealing with. It's not a woman. So because if we're going to make it a woman, then we got to question Adam's position as a husband because you're standing there next to a tree, watching your woman talk to a snake, and this whole episode could have been ended by him knocking the apple out her hand. If we want to call it an apple, Eve, stop. We're not going to disobey. We're not going, but Adam took of that fruit and ate with her. Also in the text, it say the serpent is saying, "Ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil." Now they already knew what was good. So what in Adam inclined him to want to know what was evil? Well, what were you going for? And then so she takes of that fruit and then she eats it. And now we have, oh, you know what? Before I even go on, I want to read something real quick. Let me pause because we got to realize why Eve was created too, because he did already messed up with Lilith. So in the Hebrew text, when Adam said there was no suitable helper, the term that was actually used was Izar Kenegdo. That's the Hebrew term. Izar originally mean because we want Eve and these women to be created to be up under the man. And I'm about to throw that completely off the planet right now with just the literal meaning of Izar Kenegdo. Izar has originally two meanings in Hebrew, depending on the pronunciation, and it either means to rescue or to save. So Eve didn't. Adam needed the companion. So Izar, he needed an Izar Kenegdo. Izar to rescue, to save, or to be strong. Okay, and then Kenegdo, I don't got that one on the screen. But let's deal with Izar. Izar is used in 3 different occasions in the Bible. It's used to describe a woman. It's used to describe the nation of Israel when they went looking for military aid. They went looking for Izar. Then also Izar is used for God as Israel helper. So the same word that was used to describe God was the same word that was used to describe Eve. The same word that was used to describe God and Eve was also used to describe a military stronghold, not a help, a savior, a strong savior. And this is not a place of weakness. This is not a place of submission. We wrongfully translated it to help meet. And even help meet doesn't say subjugate, because if you need my help, then I'm at least strong in the area that you need the help in, I would think. So that just debunks the creation of woman originally created to serve man. She was never created to serve man. She was created to rescue him from his lower self. That was the original assignment, to rescue him, to help him. So again, that's that inner dialogue with Adam and the animus and the anima, his higher and lower self having this dialogue. So once you push Eve out of you, the lower self, because a man cannot have a baby. A man has never since earth, I promise you, you're not going to find it. They do not have children. You're not going to take a woman out of a man's body in no type of anatomy type of way. So no, this is not talking about child rearing right here. On top of we're dealing with adults. It's never a child mentioned here. So God pulled a grown woman out of his rib. It doesn't make sense. But when you understand that it was a side of Adam. Now, when you move into demonizing this, let's listen to this. This portion was taken out of Adam. So even if it's inherently bad, this came from up out of Adam. So that would mean this inherent evilness was something that was rooted in Adam in the first place. So, but we're not going to go there because the dark void, the Shakti, the feminine energy, it is not evil. What it is a thought. It's a thought. So Adam went within himself and had a conversation, and a question presented itself. Adam, have you ever thought about not listening to God? But guess what? Adam had thought about not listening to God. He wasn't listening to God when it came to Lilith. So that's why when you have this easy, like,
Islam,
and you got this easy conversation. Can't nobody talk to it. Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good. Sister Isha, I just want to come to, because she's sending up fire things for what you're saying, fire flames. But I want to go to what she said. The serpent, before we get off of that Kundalini, the serpent often interpreted in esoteric traditions as Kundalini energy or the force of hidden wisdom, which can either elevate humanity through enlightenment or lead the downfall through misuse. Islam.
Woo, and that is the power of the feminine energy. That's the power of the feminine energy, where we're really in the middle. We're not evil, and we're not. You decide what to do with this energy, and that's really how it is in this practical world. It's you have creation, and you decide what you're gonna do with it. That's what, and then the Kundalini. That's the serpent. That's the serpent that he's talking to. See, when you understand how the Kundalini energy works, it sits at the base of the spine, but that's your lower nature. So if you engage it down there, then yes, you're going to tap into your lower nature. But if you do what the Creator called us to do, then you will go inside of yourself and you will raise that serpent up, and it'll climb the 33 vertebrae, the tree of life, and get up here to the top. It kind of blurred out again.
Yeah, it did blur out. But
go ahead.
You said the Kundalini needs to rise up. You were saying that. That's what we heard you.
Yes. The anima, so the anima is where the germination of the seed takes place. And when when the Holy Quran, it says everything is born with this essence, the essence of God. Everything has a seed in it after its own kind. That includes man. So man has a seed in them, and every month, this happens every single month, oil drips down the back of your spine and travels all the way to the sacral chakra, and it'll sit there for 2.5 days. And in those 2.5 days, if you are pure, then it will climb back up the 33 vertebrae and then root itself in the animus. And that's the animus. And that's the God consciousness. But if you get that seed in the sacral chakra and you're engaging in immoral sex, drink, all the things we call sin, which is just an about face from God. It's just turning your back on God, missing the target. There's no hell waiting for you. This is hell. The fall of man was the hell.
Facts. Where's the hell?
And so we got to deal with why. Yeah, Eve. Go ahead, sis.
Oh no. Go ahead. I'll wait till you finish. Go ahead.
No, sis, go ahead, because I was about to move on to after the alleged woman eats this fruit. Now you got the God consciousness coming back in, and that's where the guilt and the shame comes from. But go ahead, say what you were going to say. Were you building up something right here?
Yeah,
I didn't want to move on too far.
I know you good. So we talked about the incubus, the incubi, which is plural. One, the incubus is a male demon in human form in folklore that seeks to have sex with sleeping unconscious females. Right? Then we got the succubus. Or the succubi, which is plural, a female demon popularized in religious folklore and mythology. The succubus was believed to be sexual in nature, appearing to men in dreams are in the physical world to seduce them, steal their energy, and in some case take them up out of here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Adam was under that tree having, and most boys, what do they have? They have what you call a wet dream.
Mm-hmm.
What usually
Mm-hmm.
comes to them in that dream? Some kind of female, some kind of entity that they're caught up in.
Yep.
They see in front of them, and she's there to steal them,
Yep.
steal
Yep.
their.
Yep.
See, I seen that as an Eve situation. I'm not gonna even kid y'all. I seen Eve all in that, and I'm not trying because I know there's these different polarities
Mm-hmm.
to us as feminine energy. All of us ain't, you know what I'm saying? We ain't all on the side of Allah. Some of us want to get down and dirty with some things.
Exactly. And you got to be careful what you ask for, because Adam had his strength right there looking at him in Lilith, but he didn't want the strength. He just wanted the woman. And then the incubus with sleeping women. I want to throw this in there as a sidebar. As women, we got to be careful what we think a sleeping woman is, because that
Come
don't
on.
mean that you got to literally be sleep. That don't mean that you got
Okay.
to literally be sleep. That means that you're not aware of what is really going on. Your awareness is not there. I like to say in the world, these brothers like to give us muscle relaxers. You want to drink? You want to smoke? Nah, brother, I'm cool. Leave me in my right mind so I can discern what's going on right here. So we got to be on guard for those things. The sexual nature of this text, nobody, we starting to deal with it more as this consciousness is pouring out, but we've gotten away from it for hundreds of years here, that this is a sexual story right here. And the Bible itself is just dealing with so much sexual immorality that we can't act like that's not what's going on in Genesis. Because if that wasn't what was going on in Genesis, then how do we get to that in the rest of the book? It's like, why does Leviticus have to have a law to tell you not to sleep with animals? That's really strange,
Right.
because that implies to me that you were sleeping with animals for this law having to be given. You shouldn't sleep with your son's wife, and all these little different rules that are coming out. That meant that there was a lot of sexual immorality going on in the planet, and we can blame it on women. But again, the guardian is the man, is the masculine energy. So why weren't you at your post, Adam?
Yeah. What was you doing, Adam? Sister Aisha Ra says. So would Eve represent the soul of emotional self, the part of humanity that connects with the material world? I could see that.
No.
No, but it
Yeah,
doesn't.
but the
Why?
only reason, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with that,
No,
but
no, no.
it's
Say what you say, because I'm. It's not that everyone sees it from there, and I want to hear your perspective.
yeah,
Though, go ahead.
that's what I'm like. I don't want to call anybody's perspective wrong, but the only thing where I gave pause at her to the material world, because
Oh,
that's a masculine
oh,
attribute right there.
okay.
Women, females are the occultic, the hidden, the unseen, the untangible, the untouchable. That external world, this is a man's world. This is Adam was the one that you got rid of Lilith, and now you got you just by yourself with your higher and your lower self, and couldn't deal with the unseen. So he had to push that thing out so that he could see it and touch it and feel it. All these carnal things that he with the lower senses. So we deal with extra sensory levels. The woman does. I mean, we do deal externally too, but what is unseen, the spiritual world is our territory. This material world is masculine. It is like, even when you look at the nature of creation, you go from nothingness to something. What brings the nothingness into something is the masculine principle. That electric
Mm-hmm.
charge turns nothing into something. So I think like they demonize us too much, acting like we're the ones that are so materialistic and external. And if you look
Mm-hmm.
around it's the brothers that are really the ones erecting the churches, arguing over the literal text, again, just doing all the the external material things. Men provide where they should, the modern they should be, but men are responsible for the material things that are provided. Women, we are the domain of the home. We are the keepers of those things, not the ones that really produce it or cling to it. Now, today's woman is, but we talking about the original blueprint. So I wouldn't associate this woman with the material world. She didn't even know anything about it. Really, you know, Adam did a poor job of teaching here in his text. He didn't teach her anything about the material world.
Yeah, I felt like Adam, it was a setup. Like he set her up. I'm going to be honest. I feel like it was a straight setup. He was over there chilling. Like, yeah, I'm going to let her go on over there to the tree, whatever. But he listening. He ain't far. He can't be that far. Like, you just let your woman run off with her to talk to a serpent, like you said. He can't be that far. So I know he got to hear what's going on. It seemed like it was a setup. Like, yeah, I'm going to have her go bite that. We're going to see what happens. So if she bite it, whatever happened to her, if she fall out and die, it won't happen to me. You know, I won't eat it.
And then she didn't surely die. Mm-hmm.
She did not surely die. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Let me see.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
So the masculine,
then, you know, even him when he say, and the man said, the woman. Were you reading that, sis?
No, I want you to go ahead. No, I was listening to what you were saying. No, go ahead. Go ahead. It keeps,
but yes, because he didn't keep order. He didn't keep. Yes, his lack of being in position and his lack of keeping the law that was given to him, his lack of governing the woman that he says, and God, the woman you gave me. So you're blaming God for giving her to you. But like you said, he gave her to you. So that was your gift. That was your thing to keep. That was your thing. Just like when we have children, we don't blame our children when we're not watching them. You know, we discipline our children for not following our instructions. But when we have a baby, we don't expect our baby to be responsible for things they don't know yet.
Yes,
so we tend to them, we watch them, we pay attention to them because we are responsible for them.
Okay, so when God called out, when he was calling out to Adam, like, Adam, where you at? I know you hear me. Where you at, bro? Where y'all at? I know you hear me. He was calling out to him. Adam act like he didn't hear Allah. I was like he don't even hear him. That's a loud voice not to hear.
And the anima and the animus and the anima. Now, this is coming from ancient information, and we can pretend like our ancestors didn't know what they was talking about because they don't have the sciences that we have, but actually modern science has proven that they knew exactly what they were talking about. So what is said of the anima and the animus, these are literally energy centers in the body. And the movement of these energies now, in some respect, can even be seen they have. To see that we have different energies and different things illuminate in our bodies when we feel different emotions, difference in your brain light up. That's energy moving. But I said that to say, it says, and the Lord, and they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. Now, I'm going to pause right there because that's important, because the animus, and this is going to talk to y'all about alcohol too, spirits, drinking. Okay. The animus lives in your brain during the daytime, during your daylight hours. Your God consciousness is, I'm talking about the energy. The animus dwells in the liver. So that's why they have us drinking at night. But going back there, the animus, when he says, and they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. This is not talking about a physical place. All this is going on within Adam. So it's daytime now. So God is now back, you know, so he can hear God's voice again. Sound like a lot of what's going on today, where again our men are blaming the woman instead of owning up to their mistake and getting back into position. Don't run and hide. Don't blame me. Say, you know what, God, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. My woman done went over here, but he can't say that because he ate the fruit too.
He sure did.
The Bible says that a husband should be towards his wife like Jesus was to the church, and Jesus laid his life down to cover the church's sin. So at that moment, Adam, because he wasn't at his post, he was supposed to stand up and say, God, I messed up. I messed up and I didn't care of my responsibilities. But no, he blamed the woman this is the woman you gave to me. Or let's take it away from the woman. God, this is the nature that you put in me. You put this higher and lower nature in me. And this is why it is said that the woman is to submit to the man, because they are stored in literature. It is not said that the woman is supposed to submit to the man, because we are talking about Adam talking to his higher and lower self in this conversation. This is an internal thing that is happening. There's no garden. This is Adam within himself. So when God commands Adam to master Eve, it's not that he's just literally saying master the woman. He's saying master your lower self. Master those thoughts that come up. Question those thoughts. Interrogate those thoughts and find out where they're there. Because the horrible thing about this thing in the garden is this was a very short conversation to decide to disobey the creator. Like it really didn't take a lot of convincing. Like many of our women today, we will go the wrong way very, very easily. Very easily.
For a man,
and we
got our brothers. We do that. We'll do that following behind the brother.
We'll do anything for a man we love. And that's why. Absolutely. Because the nature of a woman is innocent, it's pure, it's beautiful. And then you turn it into something else. We're mutable, we're moldable. So it's not until we encounter the wickedness of the world or the wicked intentions, because this is a man's world, the wicked intentions of this masculine world, that a woman becomes what we know a woman to be today. Women, men, boys, they're the ones walking around with little hard-ons at 5 years old. Little girls aren't having sexual activity at that age because it's not our nature. We don't get sexual until something introduces us to that, whether it's molestation, encounter because we think we in love. We don't, at that innocent stage, we're not even playing tricks with sexual games when we're young and coming up. We really are trying to be with the man that we love. We're giving ourselves, even if though it's wrong and it's a false image, usually, because we wouldn't have all these broken homes, but it's a false image of it. But we are giving ourselves to a man because we believe that we love him. And the whole time it's this serpent conversation going on where it's deception, it's trickery. And another thing with this serpent conversation too that bothers me with our brothers is because you got Adam, who's the husband, then you got a serpent. These are two masculine energies there. So not only did Adam fail to correct his wife, but he failed to intercede when he seen another masculine energy leading a woman the wrong way. And we got brothers doing that right now where y'all won't stand up and stop a snake from talking to a woman. Stop these snakes from manipulating our women, because that is what your post is, Adam. Your post is to be guardian and protector of the woman and the children. But if you ain't protecting her, then everything else can get through out the door.
And that's why when you go back to Maleficent and she said, oh, no, I'm the protector of the Moors. You see the feminine aspect had to say, nah, I'm going to have to protect my babies. I'm going to have to protect this. You ain't about to come up over here no more doing all that. But when you said that innocence, that our innocence has been taken away, we were innocent until we encountered. Because I thought I was going to be married like Adam and Eve forever through the Bible. You know, as a child, I thought that innocently, like, save myself, don't do this and that. So the masculine, I say the masculine energy torn humanity apart, and now it's trying to remember it, to put it back together.
But the problem with remembering it is because they got to get back to what they don't want to get to, and that's Lilith. That's the duality of man without the subjugation. Let's sit with one another and mirror, see what we see in our reflection, and then improve one another. But if you want to put me up under you, then you can't see yourself. If I'm up under you, you can't see yourself that way. You can only see yourself if you looking at me and I'm looking at you. So, and now that principle is hidden. So man can't find it outside of himself. The only way to find it is to go inside of himself, or to partner with his woman who is the inside. We are the inside principle. We are that space where you contemplate thought. That's why they need their strength opposite. They need to be able to come to us and say, wife, sister, mama, this is what's going on. I quoted a statement to you earlier, and I can't remember where I got it from, but it says that the feminine principle knows what to do, but it doesn't know how to do it, while the masculine principle does not know what to do, but it knows how to do it. So the woman is the information, and then the man comes up with a plan to execute it. So this coming together that we need to do, you can't do it with her up under you. It's not going to happen. If it was going to happen, we would be there. So it's time to change the narrative, and change the narrative by really investigating and seeing what needs to happen, so that we can come into that oneness with one another. Another text I found said that what Eve was taken from, the rib was really an ark, the energy, when the Ark of the Covenant, that you got energy spawning from one end to the next. So the brother's energy, he ain't got nobody to, and there's an electrical charge that builds an ark over them, and that's the Ark of the Covenant. But we can't do that. The Ark of the Covenant didn't have a subordinate piece. It had two cherubims sitting on the side of it, two angels. It wasn't a high angel and a low angel. There were two angels. So it's the wholeness that we need, and that requires the external and the internal.
Yes, Islam. So Sister Aisha said, I thought the serpent's energy is fluid and represents the unity of masculine and feminine principles. Do you want to answer that? You want to go ahead?
You go ahead, sis.
Okay.
Or did you want me to?
Well, you can. I'll say this. When we're speaking of this serpent, I feel we know that those join, correct? This joins, these two serpents join up. But we're not speaking of it from that part, are we? Like when we're talking about the serpent and Adam, is that what you're asking? Or do you want to say something on that? Because maybe I don't know how she really said.
Okay, can you read it to me one more time so I can hear the question again?
She said, I thought the serpent's energy is fluid and represents the unity of masculine and feminine principles. Just one serpent.
Well, it does, but the feminine principle is what's sitting at the base. So it's not unified until the serpent rises up to come to the masculine principle, which will be the animus that dwells in the head. So when the serpent is at the bottom, that's the sacral chakra. That's the lower nature. So we got to raise it up through work. Like because we had it good in the garden. We didn't have to do that. But again, Adam rejected Lilith. So now we got this different dynamic where it's not unity anymore. He needs to get to know himself. So that will leave the serpent sitting at the base, because until we get knowledge of self and know how to literally raise them energies up through obedience to God's word, Allah's word, then it's not a connection. It's just sitting there at the spine, getting wasted away. Just a seed getting wasted away every month.
Islam.
Let me see.
And so you spoke on something, and I never really paid attention to this until today. Did you? Whoa. Eve we don't know nothing else about Eve after Genesis 4. It's nothing else there.
Nothing at all. It's like, why did she just disappear?
Where did she disappear?
That's another woman.
All of a sudden.
It's another woman just disappeared. Mm-hmm.
We just getting snatched and trafficked even back then. Just disappearing, just missing. Now Eve is missing through this whole text. She's mentioned in the first, what is it, 5-6 pages of this text. Then nowhere else do you hear Eve come up in the story. So what happened to her? Where'd she go? Where did she go? Who was raising
Where
the
did she
children?
go? It says this
If
is
she was
another
God, who was
strong.
raising these children?
Yeah, because now, so right. So what are we dealing with now? Was she there and just not talked about, or was she totally removed? But the problem is now we're blaming, we were demonizing women, but we have one man who's had two women totally disappear. And we know this is what was done to the text, not necessarily the actuality of it, but this is patriarchy, removing these archetypes of the strong women because they don't want us to see the duality of man and woman, nor do they want us to see the duality of women, that women are not inclined to just be evil. We have the dual nature just like man does. We can be good and we can be bad. We can do the same thing that man does, but it's just crazy how they removed her. And really, when you go through the Bible, it's very little said about women at all. Really, if you think about it, I mean, there are stories with women, but it's a patriarchal story. And every moment where you see a woman doing something powerful, there is very little said about her. Deborah, another woman in the text, she led a whole army, but yet it's very little about her. Queen of Sheba, very little about her. There's all these women that we know as powerful archetypes. There is very little about her in this book, and we need to question why that is.
Definitely, we need to question. We need to question. So I want to go back and say this about Maleficent. Because in the movie, I was so in tune with it. I got to go back and watch some more and watch it again, right? So the men made an oath to a man, as they made an oath to another man to go get her stuff so he could become the king, right? So as our divine mother is the divine mother, our oath is to Allah. But that's why nature worked for her during the time of war. But she was betrayed by soft persuasions in her ear. This man came and he lay with her and slept with her and loved on her and did all these things. Then once she fell asleep, the unconscious, she was actually asleep. She was knocked out. He took him, he got her, and he took her wings away from her. So he took her power. The patriarchal man took her power for his own selfish gain. And I'm not throwing rocks at a glass house, but he took from her so that he can gain for himself. So you see, even through this, and this is like, that is that Disney tells the truth on a lot of stuff. That's all.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Yeah, a lot of them movies got some treasures in it, and that's the story right there. And then Maleficent, another character that they painted, that if you're not paying attention to that movie, she's demonized. She's demonized as just this hell raging woman that just wants to destroy everything. But we're not dealing with, you took her source of power. Now, when Samson's source of power was taken in the Bible, he went nuts, and we praised that when he decided to go finally use his last breath to kill a whole building full of people. That's what the scriptures say. This, he let Delilah cut off his locks, and that stripped him of his power. Then here he is standing in between two pillars and decide to fold them and knock the whole building down because of what had happened to him. But yet when the feminine principle does it, feminine energy does it, we act like we don't understand where this is coming from. And it's not to condone some of the rage of the woman, but we have to understand the place that this comes from so that we can set it back right. And not even to demonize the brothers by painting the pages, revealing the hidden patriarchy that has subjugated the woman and her spiritual nature. But we have to talk about what's really going on, because ultimately Eve is blamed for the fall of man. And I said this to you yesterday: if Eve can be blamed for the fall of man, then Eve can take the fall of man and make it the rise of man again. This is about empowerment and getting us to recognize our rightful space in this energetic thing we got going on. Because if we get back to our post, then our brothers ain't got no choice but to get back, because that's just what's going to happen. They're going to be by themselves if they don't. Adam was in that garden by himself. Adam was lonely. We don't hear no story about Lilith being lonely, because it says Lilith was independent and didn't want to do this, and she went on to wherever she went. But Adam was lonely. Adam was lonely. So I don't want our brothers lonely, but what I want our brothers to understand is that we're going to obey the Creator. We're going to obey Allah. And if you want to be the leader of our unit, of our family, if you want to be a husband that I submit to, then you have to give me something to submit to, and that's your obedience to Allah. You know, Adam, and then going back to the text, Adam had to already be being disobedient to the Creator, because why would Eve think this was even an option? Why would she think this was an option if her man was upright and honoring the Creator, honoring Allah? So it was some weird stuff going on already there, because we choose partners based on what we're comfortable with and that identification. So they identified with each other. They both wanted to be rebellious. Adam, you said Adam set Eve up to go first. If she croaked out and died, he can just get a new wife, maybe. I don't know what his plan was.
Right. I just asked for another one.
She didn't die, so ultimately they both ate it.
Because even in our Holy Quran,
right.
Temple of America, it says, the lower self is rich in promises, but poor in blessedness and peace. It offers pleasure, joy, and satisfying gain, but gives unrest and misery and death. It gives men apples that are lovely to the eye and pleasant to the smell. Their cores are full of bitterness and gall. Like you said, they so cut up on the shininess and the prettiness and the like. You even saying that material world thing that we could go back to in that. And then in 17. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 3, because I should have said that's where that was coming from. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 3, Elihu's lessons on the unity of life. In 17, he says, men seek a salvation from an evil that deems a living monster of the netherworld. And they have gods that are but demons in disguise, all powerful, yet full of jealousy and hate and lust, whose favors must be bought with costly sacrifice of fruits and of the lives of birds and animals and humankind. And yet these gods possess no ears to hear, no eyes to see, no heart to sympathize, no power to save. So when I even look at that, well, what God was Adam even talking to? And yet these gods possess no ears, because they're saying it's more gods. So these gods possess
I'm sorry, since you broke up.
Did I? Oh, and you froze as soon as I said, "Oh, you went up." I said, "Yet these gods possess no ears to hear, and no eyes to see, nor heart to sympathize, no power to save."
That's the material world.
They said the gods.
I'm listening too, but I'm trying to find in
the text.
They're made of what? Air.
This evil is a myth. These gods are made of air and clothed with the shadow of a thought. And then we say, even through Eve, she was a thought manifested from him. He thought her up. He thought her up. Because thought is the cause of it all. Thought is the cause of it all.
Yeah.
Think it. That's where the sin is. The sin is in the wish and the desire. It ain't even in the act at all. It's in the wish and the desire. So it's already in your thought. What's up, Adam?
It ain't at all.
Not saying we don't think like that. Not saying that, but as you said, they rise every morning. Every rising, it rise up. From a baby on to an adult, it rise up. So where's the lust at? What was you really doing under that tree? What was really going on with you? You know what I'm saying? When you decided to bring forth this entity of this woman that you so desired, and not being with your equal, not being with your reflection, not being what really
Your
with who
equal,
who you should have
exactly.
been with. You want to run
Exactly.
off just like y'all do. You see something cute and shiny, and it's got a new this,
Mm-hmm.
a new body part, a new this and that, and you want to run over there. That's where you want to be. So we let you go do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Just external. It has to see, touch, feel it with all the external sensory. And again, while woman is internal. And the chapter 1, the creation of the fallen man, where did it
Mhm.
go? It says that man is a thought of Allah, and all thoughts of Allah are infinite. They are not measured by time, for things that are concerned with time begin and end. The thoughts of Allah are everlasting, of the past into the never ending days to come, and so is man, the spirit man. But man, like every other thought of Allah, was but a seed. It's just a seed, is what you do with it. A seed that held within itself the potencies of Allah, just as the seed of any plant of earth holds deep within itself the attributes of every part of the special plant. So, spirit man, as seed of Allah, held deep within itself the attributes of every part of God. Our God create good and evil, light and dark. So we can't separate Eve from that light and darkness, from that thought of Allah. Like,
Mhm.
we can't separate the fact that this was man counseling with himself in this Genesis story. You know, we can take it external and talking about men and women, but again, the esoteric underlying message there is Adam is within himself, getting to know the thoughts of Allah, the polarities of Allah. The good, Allah is the seed that is
Yes, ma'am.
has the potential to be anything. It's according to man's inner desires, fantasies, what we do with what Allah got. He said the serpent connects the masculine and feminine principle, but we can just let it sit down there and not rise it up if we want to. But without that feminine principle coming up to meet with the masculine, we have this masculine world that is just totally external and totally ignoring the Allah inside of us, the spirit of man. The feminine principle is that unseen spirit of man. And you can't
Mm.
walk on that. You get to know it and raise it up. You don't step on it, you don't subjugate it, you get to know it and then you raise it up so that that unification occurs. But
Yes,
no,
mom.
Adam just said it, it's the lower nature you gave me.
It's the lower nature you gave me because it says now seeds are perfect. This is still coming from the creation of fallen man, the divine
Mm-hmm.
instruction. Yeah, the next paragraph. Now seeds are perfect. Yeah, it's perfect as the source from which they come, but they are not unfolded into life made manifest. The child is as perfect as the mother is. So man, the seed, must be deeply planted in a soil that he might grow. Unfold as does the bud unfold to show the flower. The human seed that came forth from the heart of Allah was full ordained to be the Lord of the plane of soul and of the plane of things made manifest. So Allah, the husbandman of everything that is, threw forth this human seed into the soil of soul. It grew apace, and man became a living soul, and he became the Lord of all the kingdom of the soul. Hark now and let every creature hear the plane of soul. Is but the ether of the spirit plane vibrating not so fast. And in the slower rhythm of this plane, the essence of life are manifest. The perfumes, the odors, the true sensations, and all of love manifests. The essence of life is spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. All of love.
Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Islam. Islam. So I love the way you
And
said that. Like
that spirit is feminine. I'm sorry, go ahead, say that again, sis.
you said the spirit of truth. Well, you froze. So
Mm-hmm.
you right, it's freezing.
I think it's got a little delay on us again.
It do. Hmm. That's something. Man. Oh, Sister Shonda, this is something. And like you said, this is gonna have to be broken down into a series because honey, there's so many other notes that I had written up today that I know we could be on here 2-3 more hours going through this thing because it was a lot today. Like up early when I called you, just really studying and looking and just really wow.
Yes.
So you mentioned something earlier too before we
definitely
you mentioned something earlier today, and you were saying the tillers of the soil come and dig up good seeds.
Yes. And that's because it's good seed. Allah just said that the seed of Allah is good, and He planted it in good soil, deep. So it's man that works the ground, because Adam was ordered to till the ground. So when good seed get uprooted and get turned into something else, that's the working of the hands of man. That's not the blueprint that Allah laid down here for us. And I wanted to read some more into the Holy Quran, right up under where you stopped. It's further into it, but I don't want to skip in the middle of a paragraph.
No, go ahead.
And these soul attributes become a body. Okay. And these soul attributes become a body beautiful, a multitude of lessons man must learn upon the plane of soul. And here he tarries many ages until his lessons are all learned. Upon the boundary plane of the soul, the ether began to vibrate slower still. And then the essences took on a final garb, the perfumes and the odors and the true sensations and all of the love were clothed in flesh, because we don't like to pay it. I don't know what love means to us today in this time, but and man was clothed in flesh. Perfected man must pass through all the ways of life, and so a carnal nature was full manifest, a nature that sprang forth from fleshly things. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be developed by exercise of strength. Thought must be developed by exercise of strength. And so this carnal nature soon became a foe that man must fight, that he might be the strength of Allah made manifest. Let every living thing stand still and hear. Man is the Lord of all the plane of manifest, of protoplasm, of mineral, of plant, of beast. But he gave up his birthrights just to gratify his lower nature. That was really what I wanted to get to. But man will regain his lost estate, his heritage, but he must do it in conflict that cannot be told in words. That's hidden again. That's that unseen thing. It cannot be told in words. He must suffer trials and temptations manifold. But let him know that cherubim and seraphim that rule the stations of the sun and the spirit of the mighty Allah, who rule the solar stars, are his protectors and his guide, and they will lead to victory. Man will be fully saved, redeemed, perfected by the things he suffers on the plane of flesh and on the plane of the soul. When man has conquered carnal things, his garb of flesh will then have served its purpose well, and it will fall. It will be no more. But that once that trade in, and he traded his birthright in just to gratify his lower self. Again, to me, that was indicative of what I said about Genesis. That was that internal conversation he had. He ate that fruit. He ate off the fruit of his lower nature after God told him not to. And Allah just pointed out, Noble Drew Ali pointed out right here that, Allah said that the birthrights was traded just to gratify his lower self. But man will regain his life estate. Islam.
He will. He definitely will gain his life estate. Islam, definitely. But and
now we again we in a space of blaming the woman, but go ahead, sis.
No, I wasn't saying nothing. I'm waiting on you. Go ahead.
No, it's the lag. It's the daggone lag. But Dad, what was I about to say? Just saying that
we want to blame the
man
woman.
Is so detached from. Because he's so detached from his inner workings that Eve was brought out of him so he can see it's you, Adam. It is you. That's the point of Eve coming out of him. Adam, this is you doing this. It's not about the woman that I gave you. You need to be at your post. Islam.
You should have been at your post. You should have been at your post, brother. Why you wasn't at your post, brother? Because let me tell you something. Wow, and this may even bring something out. So in the Divine Instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 4, Death and Burial of Elizabeth Matheno's Lessons, the Ministry of Death. In 14, he says men need a pattern for their lives. They love to follow, not to lead.
And that's why we have the word of Allah, the laws that was given to us to follow, to obey. And going back to that submission, brother, you have to submit to the instructions. You have to submit to Allah before you can expect a woman to submit to you. Now, we going back to Genesis. Here is Eve subjugated to a man that don't even listen to God. Don't even listen to Allah, because nowhere in that is man. He hasn't established his obedience yet. He's just given the authority to have dominion over the woman. But you have to follow the blueprint. And the sad thing about this story is all this craziness happened before they even had children. And the Holy Quran just said that the child is as perfect as the mother. So now the mother isn't perfect anymore, though. So now she has the seed of this fleshly world, struggles of man in the flesh and on the soul plane. So this is a soulful thing we're dealing with, not a physical thing, not a material thing. It's an internal thing that has to be conquered on the inside, the soul of man. The flesh is just the vessel.
Islam, definitely.
It's housing foolishness.
And the soul, but a lot of people they're not even in touch with it. Because the soul has actions, and most don't even, they're not even taking on the control of the actions of the soul. And that's the thinking, understanding, reasoning, and willing. Call these not, those are the actions, they're not the essence of the soul, though. Those are just the actions of it. So,
that's the act.
Yeah, it's just the actions of the soul. So, that's why in the Soul of Man, it states that, what is it? The instability of man. Where's the soul of man? What does it say? It talks about the parent, actually. Hold on, let me find it. The soul of man. Where is the soul of man? The soul of man is. I know. The soul of man. Okay. No, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Okay, the soul of man does talk about the soul, though. So in the Soul of Man, the Divine Instructions from the Holy Prophet, Holy Instructions from the Prophet, chapter, this is 38. Holy Instructions from the Prophet, the Soul of Man. The blessing on man of thy external part is health, vigor, and proportion. The greatest of these is health. What health is to the body, even that is honesty to the soul. That thou has a soul is of all knowledge, the most certain of all truths, the most plain unto thee. Be meek, be grateful for it. Seek not to know it perfectly. It is inscrutable. It's impossible to understand. Thinking, understanding, reasoning, and willing, call not these the soul. They are his actions, but they are not his essence. Raise it not too high that thou be not despised. Be not thou like unto those who fall by climbing, neither debase it to the sense of brutes, nor be thou like to the horse and the mule in whom there is no understanding. Islam. Sister Aisha Ross says the soul is considered a divine spark of creator, eternal, and immortal. Yeah, but most people they're not in touch with their soul. Most people, because the soul is a substance far too fine for fleshly eyes to see. So that's something infinite that you got to go into the infinite. So that's really going into the esoteric too. You got to go into the infinite. Because the finite don't even notice they got it. The finite mind can't even, they can't even connect to that soul like that. It's so far apart. We're like, really, man, we so far apart from our soul, we don't even realize. We think we got it, we think it's there. When we think of soul, we thinking of music. Oh, it's hitting me in my soul. You know, that's the only part we really be thinking when we're tapping into our soul's purpose. That's all we think. So in 5, it says, search it by its faculties, know it by its virtues. There are more in number than the hairs of thy head. The stars of heaven are not to be counted with them. Islam. You still there? Oh, okay, you're not froze. Yeah, so the soul of man, when you brought that up, how do we get in touch with our soul? How can we employ our soul and put it to work? Because we have to put our soul to work too.
Yes. And no, right, because it talks about that too, that after we're finished with the soul and the work in the flesh, that we got work to work out in our soul too.
On our soul plane.
So it's then that soul is the unseen.
Islam. And it says also, if you go down to 8.
And the moon returned her nature.
If you go down to 8, as the moon retaineth her nature, though darkness spread itself before her.
And it's, if you go down to 8.
Yes. We was thinking the same thing at the same time.
We on the same page. Go ahead, sis.
So the soul remains perfect even in the bosom of a fool. The soul remains perfect even in a fool is perfect. So that's how you know we're so out of touch that it's even there. You can sit there and think you attack. No, you ain't. Because even in a fool is perfect. You don't even know he got it at that point.
Because you got to search it. You know, when you just read it, it says search it.
And the soul is a feminine energy. She is immortal. She is unchangeable. She is alike in all. Health calleth her forth to show her loveliness. And application anointeth her with the oil of wisdom. Did you not just say about that oil? Did you not just talk about that oil?
Yes. And see, that's why these lessons are so many layers to it. And yes, the external lessons are definitely important. But the Apostle Paul said in Hebrews, when I was a child, I think as a child and I spoke as a child. But now that I am an adult, I put away childish things. And in another space, he says, shouldn't you be eating meat by now? For milk is for babies. Haven't you been in this word long enough that you should be eating meat by now? These lessons that are told in myth, that's the baby stories of it, so that we can understand on a basic level what Allah is telling us. But then after we get the basic understanding, he didn't want us to stay in this space and argue this, or just to even just keep reading it for the face value of it. Now we got to dig deeper and find out, like you pointing out the soul, knowing that that's a feminine aspect. And that made me think of Lilith. When you get back to that's that feminine aspects of that immortal soul, of that the immortality of the and unchangeable. She is alike in all health. This is a balance principle. This is again, they demonize the feminine principle, but we're hearing this she totally balanced, and this is wisdom. Hakma in the Hebrew is wisdom in Hebrew.
Wow. Although she shall live after thee.
And then although she is look, we did it again. Go ahead, sis.
You better stop. Go. It's your turn. You go. You go. Go.
I love it. Like, although she shall live after thee, think not that she was born before thee. She was created with thy flesh and formed with thy brain. So this is all the internal workings. This is all the internal workings that's going on. Justice could not give her to thee justice could not give her to thee exalted by virtues, nor mercy deliver her to thee deformed by vices. These must be thine, and thou must answer for them. Justice could not give her. You can't be justified to have this virtue, nor will mercy give it to you because it's in a deformed. If I give it to you in mercy, it's deformed. You got this. You got to get to it internally. It's like Jesus said, there is only one way to the Father through me. Now, I'll deal with the Christianity thought on the external thing, and that the exoteric message there is Christos. That's that oil. And there is no, you can't cheat your way to the Father. That's why they got kicked out the garden. That's why you got kicked out this garden, because once you broke the law, you can't abode in here with the perfection of Allah with this foulness. You got to go out there and work this stuff out, and then you can work your way back up to that. But and it says, nor mercy deliver her to thee deformed by vices. Everything that we know, poisons, toxins, the body, the thoughts, for these must be thine, and thou must answer for them. You got to put in that work.
You got to have accountability.
You got to put that work by
getting, have to be accountable. Like we ain't as sisters. We ain't too far from reproach. We gonna have to answer too. So we got to understand it. This is all of us. Even when you're speaking, and when we're speaking on this, we're speaking to the whole. We're speaking to the sisters and the brothers, to be honest, because we all got work to do.
Yep.
Suppose not death can shield thee from examination. Think not corruption can hide thee from inquiry. He who formed thee of thou knowest not what. Can he not raise thee from thou knowest not what again? Because
nothing can shield you from examination.
I can take myself up out of here. You think you ain't gonna have no examination, bro? Whatever. Yeah, you is.
Nope. Nothing can hide you from it.
Nope. If they swear corruption can hide them.
I mean, well, you go back to Genesis. God said, Adam, where art thou? He was hid in the garden in the beginning, or they were hiding in the garden in the beginning.
So you couldn't, so your corruption couldn't even hide you from the garden. You forgot his eyes is to see. Allah, in its essence, mother and father, sees all. There ain't nothing I ain't seen. Sees all. The things you think you going in the closet to hide to do, it's already seen. What you think is unseen is seen. Who sees
already?
You
the minute you think it is seen.
It's seen. Whoo, Sister Shonda, I don't know, girl. What you got something else to say? I don't know.
Since like I said, we can build on this one. And then you just, I'm just reading through this. And what is this? This is holy instructions from the prophet, the soul of man. It's just all these she, her. It's just letting you know how important that divine feminine principle is. Guard her, for this is 24. It says, this is the same, is it, what were you in 30?
Chapter
38.
Okay. 38. Okay.
Chapter 38. Well, I'm going to go to 23.
Okay.
Wait a minute, they not.
That's deep.
Whatsoever may do, it's like now I'm just keep reading up because it's like, woo, goodness.
You could go. You can go.
All of this is just so good. Okay, I'm gonna just start at 21. Well, 20. Remember thou its dignity forever. Forget not how great a talent is committed to thy charge. Whoever may do good may also do harm. Beware that thou direct its course to virtue. That's that guardianship again. That and not even putting it on the man. We're talking about individual because we know these texts when they say man, they mean humanity. They don't mean just the masculine energy or just the man in the flesh. But we all, whosoever may do good, may also do harm. Beware thou direct its course to virtue. That's you directing your thoughts to virtue. Think not that thou canst lose her in a crowd. Think not that thou canst lose her in a crowd. Suppose not that thou canst bury her in thy closet. Action is her delight, and she will not be withheld from it.
Islam.
So you got it's action. You have to make a decision. You have to take action because you're gonna move in one direction of or the other. You're gonna do good or you're gonna do harm. Is I mean, I
Yep.
think that's the common sense thing of the choices we got here.
Yep.
Her
So can I
motions
say something before
perpetual.
you
Her
go?
attempts are universal. Yeah, go ahead, sis.
On 22, when it says, think not thou canst lose her in the crowd, suppose not that thou canst bury her in thy closet. Action is her delight, and she will not be withheld from it. I said, you cannot run from the soul. You can't get up, be trying to run from it, trying to get away. It's gonna catch you. It's gonna catch you. It's wrong.
Oh, yes, that's good because wherever you go, there you are. Like,
Right there, where you going? Shawty,
yes,
where you
yes, yes,
going? I'm
yes.
still here. Go ahead. I think we got a lag. It's lagging a little bit.
I love this, and it's just explaining the nature of the soul. Like this is beautiful. The end. This is 26. The end of her search is truth. The soul will stop searching. Man is on this forever. I'm the atom in I'm alone. I can't get to know myself. I'm trying to get to know myself. I can't find myself in the animals. I couldn't find myself in Lilith. It's this inevitable search for us to keep trying to find ourselves. And to find yourself, you find yourself in truth. The end of the soul search of her soul, because we talk about the soul. The end of her, the soul search is truth. Her means to discover it are reason and experience. But are not these weak, uncertain, and fallacious? How then shall she attain to unto it? General opinion is no proof of truth. Oh my goodness. That's a whole word right there.
Come on.
Of men are ignorant.
True.
Perception of thyself, the knowledge of him who created thee, the sense of worship thou owest unto him, are not these plain before thy face? And behold, what is there more that men needed to know? And that's that obedience and general opinion on what truth is general opinion is no proof of truth. The blueprint is here, and we can follow the blueprint, or we can reap the results of not doing that. And I love when it's said up there, her means to discover it are reason and experience. Well, the reasoning, that's the animus, that's that part of the brain that measures the thought. The anima produces the thought, and then the animus is supposed to and then look, animus, Anubis, like there's just I don't know why that just popped in my mind, but Anubis, that's the one that walks you over to the scales, in the Egyptian. So you supposed to carry that thought up to the scales and weigh it against the word of Allah.
What
The
is true?
knowledge of him who created thee.
And what is truth?
You asking me, sis?
What is truth? Do you know where to find that one? If not, I can tell you. It's in chapter 7.
No, it's gonna be wait. Chapter 7.
Okay,
Okay.
chapter 7, the friendship of Jesus and Lamas. Jesus explains to Lamas the meaning of truth.
Oh, yes. I'm still
The
scrolling
divine
up.
instructions
Okay,
from the
Jesus
Holy
and
Prophet,
Lamar.
chapter 7.
What is falsehood? Nah. Now, truth is no, is that it? And Jesus said, truth is the only thing that changes not. In all the world, there are two things. The one is truth, and the other is falsehood. And falsehood, that which seems to be. Now, truth is odd and has no cause, and yet it is the cause of everything.
Because,
Falsehood is not, and yet it is manifest. Go ahead, explain this.
no. Okay, no, I was going to, so truth is At. At is Allah.
Mm.
Truth is Allah. At is Allah. That's the truth. So the soul is searching for Allah. The soul is searching for truth. Allah searching for At. Searching, to me, searching for that holy breath. Searching for your mother again.
Mm.
Coming back to the divine feminine.
Mm.
Coming back to the mother to get that love made manifest. Because you've been in
Mm-hmm.
falsehood too much. When you let go and you gratified your loose desires to satisfy yourself, you walked away. Because in 10 in that same chapter,
Mm-hmm.
the holy breath is truth, is that which was and is and evermore shall be. It cannot change nor pass away. So truth is the one thing that can't change nor pass
Mm-hmm.
away. Truth governs it. Law governs all events. So to me, truth governs it all.
Yes, yes, yes. And it changes not. So you know truth because it changes not. Where was it said that and Ada say all things that can be seen by human eyes are manifest of art, are not, and so must pass away. The things we see are but reflexes just appearing, while the ethers vibrate so and so, and when conditions change, they disappear. So the things that we clinging after, as soon as conditions change, they disappear. But truth goes nowhere. Truth doesn't change. It doesn't disappear. You can't hide it. You can't hide from it. It's like it's there.
Mm-mm. And when you looking at that too, just think the things that we put in our thoughts that become this manifest in front of us of odds are not, and they end up passing
Mm-hmm.
away. Like it could be a new relationship. Oh, it's so cool at the beginning. Oh, we good, we good, good, good. But then
We so in
whatever
love.
takes
Yeah.
place, it passes away. That newness, that amazing energy that you were giving one another, it's just whew, out the door. As quick as soon as them
Mm-hmm.
reflexes change.
Out the door.
Or even when it comes to the appearance, a woman can gain weight. A man might gain weight. He might lose a limb. Anything. It'll go away. We don't want it no more.
Yep.
Because now it ain't what it was. But we brought this
Right.
manifest.
Hey, ain't that Lilith and Eve story too?
There we go. Again, you didn't want
That can
what
go
was
back
good
to
for
that Lilith
you.
and Eve story. Like, mm-hmm.
You don't ever want what's good for you. You want what's not good for you. You want to go over there and test the waters and get into that part. You want to test the
Mm-hmm.
waters. Okay. And what were you
Mm-hmm.
saying about
Yeah, and that was
okay,
the you got the experience.
when you were talking about the water
Go
and
ahead. You
the
said what's up?
you were talking about the water and the what did you tell me? The water and something you can put it in
It's
the
like it's
earth and
great.
what you say?
Oh, the elements.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were talking
the when you
about
talking about the elements, when I was talking about the film, the water and earth, those are the feminine elements, and then you got fire and air, those are the masculine elements. And the thing I find, mm, and then even with fire, you can hold it still, but you're gonna need some earth to make that stand in one place. But the water and earth you can put those in containers while taking elements. So yeah, it's like water, you can contain it and keep it still. Earth, you can contain it and keep it still, but air, that goes everywhere. You can't put air in any container at all. And then fire is a consuming type of thing. So it's burning. They don't stay still. It's that action taking place. And when you even look at the nature of the elements, the feminine elements are just there until something comes to put them into action, like the water or the fire. So that's still to me speaking to the nature of the female of us and who we're supposed to be, and how we are in our nature until air or fire comes and changes the conditions that the water or the earth is currently in.
Interesting.
The blueprint, and again, it's just like that truth. The thing about Allah's truth is that even if you close the Holy Quran, which I don't suggest anybody do that, but you can go stare at nature and see these principles. You can close your eyes and examine your own thoughts, and you will see the good and evil thoughts that pop up in your own head. And I would be scared of a person that say they never have no type of bad thoughts pop up in their head. You're a scary individual
Me too. I would
because
be
you're
scared
not
of them too.
you're not being honest. Yeah, you're not being honest. So again, you can't hide it. So you trying to hide something, but we know with that duality that is in us, which is inherently, it's not inherently either way. It's just there, and we can decide what to do with these elements, with these principles that are in us for the experience.
Yes. Yes. It is the
Definitely, definitely,
experience.
definitely. Islam.
And to experience Allah to me is the best thing you can. Man,
Islam.
please. What? This right here. It's the experience for me. As much as I can continue to go over it
Mm-hmm.
more and more, it's the unfoldment and the experience that I get from it. It's the uplifting I get from it. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
It's the saving power. It's the saving power that will save us. There was a before we go, there was a video that a brother did. He did an AI generated video, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, we gonna get back to this. We are gonna get
Mm-hmm.
back to this. We gonna get back to this in a minute. We are going to get back. Let me show you because I don't know if you've seen it, but man, we got to get back to this because this right here, I was like, oh, we getting back to this, huh? Did you see that?
Yeah, I see the woman and the man. I can't really make out the inner. Oh yeah, yeah. It's just
But it's the
love,
power of
black
us
love.
together.
Hmm. And that's the thing. It ain't no way around it.
Huh?
It ain't no way around it. We got to. I said it's no way around it. Our strength is in being together.
Our strength is
Hmm.
in being
We got a
together.
nation to save. Like we have children.
Yes,
Hmm.
we don't have time for the arguing and the
Hmm.
fighting
There's
and the
no way around
bickering.
it.
No, we don't. You know, like I was saying, it's crazy. We got these groups that say they're unity and nothing's unified on them. That I had to put a video in one of them and ask, like, this is your city, and you're telling me 20 children got taken up out of here, unalived, in one day at an event and a function. But you want to talk about a Black History Month? I want to know what we're doing about that first, because our babies are out here. It ain't about a grown man wanting to
Yeah.
know how big your sword is or none of that. What about our children? This is why we talking about what happened in the garden, because it's too much discourse going on that our children need us. And our brothers is too busy worried about what was written on a piece of paper than worried about our children's lives being saved. And who can go apply for something opposed to worrying about our babies out here that are being trafficked, our women that are being kidnapped still. No
Hmm.
different than Lilith and Eve
Hmm.
disappearing.
Absolutely. And where is Adam while this is going on? Having
Where's
theological
Adam?
arguments. having theological arguments. God is the woman you gave me. No, take accountability, brother. You were not at your post. And we need to correct this. Get to your post, Adam. And then, sisters, we have to get to our post too. Our children are suffering. Our children are suffering. Um, and even that goes on into the narrative of that mythology where Cain ends up killing Abel. And again, this is the parenting that is going on. How two brothers grow up wanting to kill each other like that? Like it's something horribly went wrong in the family infrastructure for that to even occur. And it's going on in our streets, whether they're relatives killing each other. I mean, now we got sisters killing each other, sisters killing brothers,
Yes.
brothers killing sisters, our children disrespecting the mother, children disrespecting the fathers. Nobody's respecting authority because nobody's respecting Allah. There's no way to make our children listen to. That's why Noble Drew Ali said, husbands, wives, obey your husbands, and the children should obey the mother. But if the husband's not following Allah, then the wife can't follow the husband and the children can't follow the mother. It's easy math. It really is. And it doesn't take
no
a
matter
lot.
how
It
you
takes
try
us
to
to
put
decide
it,
today.
Islam. It is what it is. You're so correct. Because how are they following anything that they're not really seeing put forth in front of them in that correct way? They see discourse. They see he over here doing this, and they see all kind of things that they can't really. A lot of times, because even mine say, well, I ain't know which way to go. I ain't know. I'm seeing this, but I don't know. Don't know the way to go. So, we have to bring this back because our children need us. I say mine are even grown. They still need me. Like they're still trying to work out these sums of life and trying to go that way.
Mines are too. Yes. And they're still watching us. They're still watching our footsteps.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So we need our Adams. Adams, y'all got to get back on y'all's post, brothers. Y'all need to be back at your post. You need to be fighting. If you're going to be fighting about anything, fight about the betterment of this nation. Up, you mighty people. You can have what you will. Isn't that what Marcus Garvey said? If we're a mighty people, we ain't talking individual as one person. We're a people. We're a nation. And for us to be acting in the way that we are toward one another is just so bad for me. Even when it comes to our sisters, like sisters, y'all need to start holding each other accountable. Hold these brothers accountable too if they ain't doing what they supposed to do. And you see them going from sister to sister. You see them doing the things they're doing. We got to stop excusing the nonsense because it is some sisters. I always say that Eve energy is to me some of them sisters that they're just gonna attach to the negative. The I don't like to call it negative, but they'll attach to that's everything that's harmful to us because they trying to follow that man too much. And it breaks the bonds of the women. It breaks the bonds of our sisterness to where that's how these men are out here cheating throughout this diaspora with all these different women. Because ain't nobody saying, nah, bruh, where's them lessons at? Hey, chapter 21, what's up, bruh? Instructions for husband and wife. What are we doing? You got to pull these lessons out on these brothers. And you got to... Go ahead.
No, you're right. Islam. Show him what you measuring him up against. I'm measuring you up against the word of Allah. Like if you ain't matching this brother, then no. And we allowing this to build enmity between the sisterhood. Yeah, no. We got to stop that. We got to stop it by building bonds that's so strong together. Go ahead.
Yes, that we are not allowing our sisters to be mistreated. We speaking up for it. We're standing on it. We gonna get behind her. Nah, like we have to learn how to really learn how to be friends. We really got to learn how to do this, y'all. Because we'll talk, we'll do this and that. We'll pour out our feelings to each other and all that. And then somebody goes and do this and that. We got to stop all that nonsense. Like, I am my sister. Some Sister Vashira, she was supposed to be on here tonight, but she said something so powerful. She said, I am my sister, not her keeper, because I ain't trying to keep you from nothing. I am your reflection. You are my reflection. I should be looking out for you. I should, nah, man. It's we
Ooh.
have a covenant we stand by. We have a covenant. And when you talked about that Ark covenant, we have a whole covenant in chapter 25.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Asiatic covenant between us and sisters. Like you said, no, Sister Vashara said it. Assisting, I think we be getting that wrong sometimes. Sometimes we'll make someone lazy and not work for what they need to work for through themselves because they're coming to us to
Mm-hmm.
fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't, this is something you're going to have to fix out on your own. We here to assist, but don't take it and you
Right.
take the assistance, but you really don't take the assistance. And then you go and still do the stuff you do when we try to
That
hold you
part.
up as a sister. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to stop doing that too.
Yeah.
We got to stop doing that. Stop it. If I'm
Yeah.
coming to you, Sister
Sisterhood
Shonda,
is
for something,
necessary.
yes, it is. It is. It's so necessary. So as sisters, once we get on our post and once we get in alignment with one another, I feel the brothers won't have no choice because see, then it's like the sisters are ignoring them. And they don't want that, honey. That they don't want us to ignore them, to not have anything to do with them. They will lose it. You heard Adam say, I
Mm-hmm.
ain't got nobody here. I need somebody.
I need somebody. I need a Ezar Connecto, a strength. I need a savior. I need somebody to help me see myself. Mm-hmm.
So
And
that's
instead of us backdooring each other, we need to be having conversations about, like, we can't keep waiting on brothers who are not at their posts to step up and protect us. But if we build real relationships, that itself is a fortitude. Because if we were having real conversations, a brother couldn't ping between me and you if we already got sisterhood and we already know, okay, brother such and such, he just going around Facebook land collecting wives. We would already know this about it. It ain't about making it public. And sometimes that might have to be done. But I'm not even talking about blasting no brother out. But as a covenant between us, we should know who's safe, who's not. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't watch brothers that we know ain't got nothing going on with them just be able to manipulate a sister and pull her out of a safe space. Like, no, 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 no. Leave us alone. If you're not going to be the guardian, the protector, if you're not going to be at the post, your manly duty that you were assigned in this earth, if you don't want to do that, then leave our sisters alone, brother. We're tired of the brothers that want to blame God. It's the woman you gave me, God. No, brother. These all these ancient texts, it say go inside of you and get to know you, and then you will
mm,
see who Allah is, and then you will see how to handle your woman or
exactly.
get away.
And then once you can tap into
Get
learning
away.
yourself and tapping
Mm-hmm.
into that Allah within yourself, I promise you won't have no problem with a woman being submissive because she sees you showing up in the reason and experience. She see you showing up like that, like you applying it to your life. And even if you're not applying all of the lessons, you're at least
Mm-hmm.
attempting to. You're at least putting forth the effort. I ain't gonna say try, because try is a sorry word. I told my children don't say that. I'm talking about you try, because
Exactly.
try, you really ain't really trying. You gonna, but let's put forth some effort. Put forth the effort. And if I could at least see you putting forth the effort, that's better than you not doing nothing at all, or you just sitting back yapping your gums to create drama. Like you sound like a nagging woman when our brothers
Mm-hmm.
do that. It really does. They all start sounding the
That's very
same,
feminine.
and you sound like a nagging woman. Like all of them, when you really start listening to a lot of our brothers, that's why I want them to stop with the nonsense, because y'all all sound the same. Everything y'all saying is exactly the same, and y'all are arguing what y'all are actually all saying. It's like crazy. So come on, brothers,
Right,
back
but
on your
they
post.
mhm,
Go ahead. No, I'm done.
back on your post. That's what's it. Like, no, since I'm just agreeing with you, Islam, right? Get back on your post. Quit being so, and I can't tell men what to do. Women, we have to stop letting them be so external with us. I don't want nothing physical you got, brother. I want to know what your soul do. What is your soul doing? Are you working out the issues of your soul? I don't want to see your male parts. I don't need you to come and keep me company. I don't need none of that. We need leadership and guardianship, and we have to make them show up that way.
Yes. Yes. Because the
But we
one thing
also
is
have to
this,
be women that are positioned to receive that too.
mm-hmm. Yes, we protecting the Moors, y'all. We ain't play. Y'all ain't about to tear up the prophets movement. No, we are protecting this movement by
At all.
all costs because it's important for our humanity of our babies and everyone else. Are y'all serious right now? Y'all have to stop playing with this thing. This is nothing to play with. We done took y'all totally esoterically. So we done took y'all up out of these physical words and things like that. So we coming from that higher essence, that higher energy. That holy breath is speaking because holy breath is feminine. Holy breath is the
Absolutely.
mother of the virtues. The holy breath is just that.
That's right.
That's the highest essence you can get to.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get back to mama. You got to let go of your patriarchal energy and you need to bring it into balance with your mama. And whatever issues you might have with your mom, I tell my children all the time, and I'm going to say it right here. Whatever issues you got with your mom, you need to let her know. Go ask for forget, whatever you need to do. Cry, say whatever she did. Get it out. Because a lot
Let's
of our
talk
brothers
about
are
it.
holding animosity against women because they have issues with their mom. And that's straight up facts.
Mm-hmm. And
So
that's straight
whatever
up
that is,
facts.
you
Yeah.
feel she didn't hug you, if whatever she didn't do, go back and speak to her. I tell mine all the time, I'm saying what I do wrong. And they check me in a minute. You were just my friend. You just did. Okay, I'm gonna let you get it out. And it probably do hurt my feelings when they say certain things. But I understand that they have feelings. And I'm gonna take them into account of how I probably made them feel. That's the accountability I'll take as a parent, as a mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Absolutely.
that's what this is all
Absolutely.
about.
Yeah, it's displaced energy. And we really need to look at, I'm trying to be careful with my words, but the openness of this generation to be any which way we want to be when it comes to gender and sexuality and stuff like that. And we like to look at that thing as it having to be a physical act. But the distortion of the masculine and feminine energy starts again in our behaviors. You don't have to be into the same gender to be acting like you are. Like, I'm trying to keep demonizing anybody or giving
Yes.
Facebook stingers because I use the wrong words, because I'm not being anti-homosexual, but what I am saying is that we have brothers and sisters that are heterosexual that are distorting the physical energy. It is what's going on, because an unbalanced man who's always yelling and emotionally confused, that is a distortion of a feminine energy. Like, feminine energy is chaotic in its essence, not because it's bad, but because it's waiting to be turned into something. It's creation waiting. It's the blank canvas of creation waiting to be manifested into something. So when I see our brothers, like you said, arguing and all passionate about stuff that don't matter, that ain't nothing masculine about that. Men solve problems with their minds. They don't get emotional about it. That's how you see clearly where we need to go. Like, but if we both are an emotional fool, like, I don't see how we're supposed to get nowhere that fast. And right now we have our women thinking more linear than our men are. And women, we're not even really called to think like that, because we're supposed to be raising our children and tending to the homes. We're not supposed to be out here fighting with the world. Like, and people don't like gender roles no more, but that's a part of the blueprint, because we already look at our children are literally seeing us 2 to 3 hours a day. They're in
If
school
that.
all day. We're at work all day. We're not raising our children. We got to go to work like men now to pay the bills. Like, this is not order. This is not how it's supposed to be. But we had to actualize this because we don't have strong men. So we had to become the man, just like they're trying to become their mamas. It's actualizing our hurt, just producing our hurt. But as for women, we had to get strong. Woman king, we had to get strong to build a fortitude to protect home, because there's not a man here anymore. There's not a man, and we're not going to pretend like the
Yes.
woman is the reason he's not there. There's a lot of
Right.
reasons why he's there, and some of them got to do with us, and some of them is just his curiosity to conquer, to have this conquest, to pursue things outside of himself. He's external. And that's why men, if you look at our men now, they want to be beautiful. They want to be beautiful. They want to adorn themselves. They put up their Facebook pictures and want to look all nice. Like, that ain't what man is known for, his wisdom and his strength. Not because, if you look good, that's an honor.
But Kendrick said it. He said, "Why you being more? Why are you more?
They want to be beautiful
in the mirror more than a woman is." Kendrick said that in a song. He said that in Rich Spirit. Why is you in the mirror more than a woman is? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Because they're enamored by their beauty.
I remember growing up as a little
girl.
Absolutely.
Man,
enamored by your own beauty. When I was growing up, I barely seen the growing up, I barely seen the chest of a man. I don't even remember my daddy walking around the house with his chest out. But now you can scroll Facebook and these men just standing there showing their bodies and chest, the same stuff they talk about women doing. Like, now y'all doing it. You want us to think you're beautiful, okay?
That is true. They be like, "Why y'all showing all y'all body parts?" We be like, "Well, why y'all showing y'all body parts?"
Yeah. And there go that fallen man again. We proceed now, instead of being ashamed of our nakedness, we just want to show it. Like, we done threw the fig leaves off. Like, goodness gracious, we got to do better.
Yes, we do have to do better. We do. I thank you so much. This was such an amazing deal.
Islam, sis, this was great.
This was great. So we gotta come back, because I think this series is gonna bust down, because we have so much more to bring and build off of. We ain't even made it to the Sybil's. We ain't made it to Mama Awada. We ain't made it to
goodness, yes.
So just know we coming back with this energy again. Sunday, most likely. Sister Shonda.
Yeah, I hope some other sisters join too.
I hope some other sisters come too. Sister Lee was supposed to be here. Sister Aisha was trying to get on, but something was going on with the computer. I don't know. This StreamYard is tripping for some reason, but we're going to get it together. So Sunday, I trust some more people will come on so we can go deeper into this. We're going to call this a trilogy, a trilogy of information that we're going on with.
Yeah.
This is the Lilith trilogy.
Yeah, because we got to talk about it so that we can heal.
Yes. So we can heal.
I love it.
Islam. Yes. So all meetings are to be open and closed, properly according to the Circle 7, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Can we all stand as we recite our Moorish American prayer? We're going to turn to the east, is going within. We put up 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right, with our heels touching one another. Repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe, Allah, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
True.
Allah is my protector,
freedom,
my guide,
and justice,
and my salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Islam. By night and by day. Islam, stay in the back. Why?
Amen. Islam.
Give me 5 minutes. Islam.
Yes. Okay. I'll be right here.
Okay. Why it ain't emptying? I don't know why it's not emptying. Oh, there it goes. Okay. See y'all later.